Hello everybody, today I would like to tell you about one of the most unusual robots from Xiaomi. It's called Mijia self-cleaning robot Vacuum-Mop Pro. The robot has several interesting features. At first, it is the first dish-shaped model in Xiaomi's lineup. This shape of the body should help to sweep out the trash from the corners. And secondly, Mijia Mop Pro is a real towel. Under the bottom there are two soft discs that are called mops. They rotate and scrub stains on the floor. Thirdly, the robot periodically rinses the mop at the station, rather than driving a dirty cloth around the apartment, as do conventional robot vacuum cleaners. Of course, you will have to pay a lot for such functionality. On AliExpress for the robot they ask $870. Further in the interview we will evaluate the package, see what functions are in the application, test the robot in the field and try to figure out whether it's worth paying so much money for Mijia Mop Pro, or it's better to look for someone else. We open the box and see what awaits us inside. The robot itself, self-cleaning base, power cord with Chinese plug, adapter available, service brush, thick and thin manual in Chinese. That's the whole kit. But the most interesting thing about Mijia Pro is not the contents of the box, but the design and functions. The robot has an unusual for the manufacturer D shape. The back panel is rounded, and the bumper is straight with rounded corners. The advantage of this design is that the vacuum cleaner cleans better in the corners. At least it should be so in theory, but how it will work in practice we will find out a little later. The height of the body is 5 mm more than standard, 10.5 cm. But overall, Mijia Pro does not look bulky. There are two control buttons on the front panel, start and return to base. When you press it, an unobtrusive black light turns on, and Mijia Pro says a phrase in Chinese. Leader is equipped with pressure sensor, so the robot does not get stuck under the coach. On the front is a spring-loaded bumper with IR sensors. On the right side there is also a side sensor so that the robot drives smoothly along the walls. At the back are charging terminals and exhaust ports. Under the hinged lid there is a container. It is quite typical for Xiaomi. The box is made of translucent plastic. The front wall opens and the HEPA filter is inserted in the back. The grid is not removable, but it can be cleaned with a brush. There's no check valve. Also, under the lid there is a place for the Wi-Fi indicator and the reset button. But the most interesting thing is on the bottom. A quick release and brush with short brooms. I doubt they'll do any good. Swivel roller, regular drive wheels, a support roller at the back. It needs to make it easier for the robot to carry its mops. The mops themselves are easy to remove because they are held together by magnets. The mops are fastened to the holders with buttons. 6 drop sensors. With their help, Mijia Pro will be able to maneuver in any direction. A floating socket with a modern frame. It has wings that enhance suction, a sock protector, a silicone scrub and pads that cling to the hair on the floor. Under the frame there is a giant turbo brush. It is twice as long as the standard one. The blades are medium hard and the bristles are quite soft, so my expectations for cleaning the carpet are not so high. Both ends of the brush are removable for easy maintenance, and you can disassemble the brush completely if you want. The self-cleaning station also deserves close attention. It is much larger than the standard station and performs completely different functions. There's a display with 2 touch buttons on top. Maybe you were expecting to see a bag under the lid as usual, but no. You will find 2 big containers of 4 liters each. The clear container is for clean liquid and the tinted container is for dirty liquid. This is what the container compartment looks like. Once the robot is packed, the pump pours water into the tray where the mops self-clean and then pumps the liquid into the dirty tank. The clean container has a large hole under the spigot, so it's easy to pour water from the tap. You can open the tank completely and rinse or descale it. The second container is designed in similar way. It has no fill hole, but there's a float which signals the level of filling. There's even a sterilization system so that you don't have to pour out dirty water every day. Thanks to the sterilization system, you can do it once every 3 or 5 days. There will be no unpleasant smell. The packing pad has charging terminals, ribbed areas to keep the wheels from slipping, and rollers to help the robot drive precisely onto the platform. The key element of the base is the tray with this stud, on which the wipes rub during the self-cleaning process. At the back of the platform we find a nozzle for water supply, and a hole through which the station pumps out the spent liquid. If necessary, the packing platform together with the tray can be taken out and washed. In general, the quality of the assembly of the station and the vacuum cleaner inspires respect. I couldn't find any shortcomings. If you can complain about something, write in the comments. Now let's see how to manage this monster. To do this, let's install the Mi Home app. There are no problems with the installation, but in the options it's necessary to select the Chinese region. After that we add the device and follow the prompts on the screen. Nothing complicated. On the main screen we see a map divided into rooms. Next to it there are buttons to start zonal or local cleaning. And if you want to determine the order of cleaning, just click on the map and select the desired rooms. Above the map is the usual status bar and below the basic control buttons. With the help of the drop-down menu you can choose the modes, dry, wet or combined cleaning, as well as adjust the suction power and the abundance of wetting the mops. The Mijia Pro has no built-in tank, and so wetness here refers to how thoroughly the robot will wring out the wipes after rinsing at the station. In the settings section there are cleaning history, editor, where you can change the boundaries of rooms and rename them, a separate editor where you can draw vertical walls and forbidden zones for different types of cleaning, a map reset function. Additionally, you can set up a cleaning schedule by days of the week with a choice of desired zones. Now let's go to the device settings section. You were offered disable or enable cleaning resumption. Set the D&D mode. Synchronize time zones on the vacuum cleaner and smartphone. Enable/disable notifications to your phone about the robot status. Select the language package. The robot speaks English or Chinese. Adjust the volume. Going back. Quick map building. Accessory wear and tear assessment. Joystick for manual control. Robot search by beep. On-off sterilization. There's also a frequency settings for rinsing wipes. The robot can rinse mops every 5, 10 or 15 square meters. If there is a shaggy dog in the house, we set the value to 5. If the cat, 10. And if only one people, you can set 15. In general, the application is convenient and functional. The only thing that is missing is the suction power setting for each room separately. Although, if you really want to, you can do it through the cleaning schedule. Now let's start testing. And I'll start by running the robot on the test table. The Mijia Pro took a long time to figure out what to do, but eventually ran it on the black carpet. It didn't fall off the table, so there's nothing wrong with the surface sensors. Under normal conditions, Mijia Pro, like any smart vacuum cleaner, first processes the perimeter of the room and then zigzags through it. The robot uses LiDAR to detect obstacles, and so it doesn't move pots and boxes which can be set for thick carpet. With the mops removed, the Mijia Pro constantly grabs the edge of the carpet with its bottom and drags it around the room. The second problem is the dryer, with which the robot fiddles for a very long time. And it's not about walkability, it's just fine. Even the mops installed, the Mijia Pro easily swung over the 2 cm bar. The problem is the angular shape of the body, because of which the maneuverability is reduced. The robot often doesn't fit into corners and cannot enter the opening between the dryer racks on the first try. With the exception of these nuances, I like the navigation. In an apartment, the Mijia Pro navigates well, cleaning room by room consistently and not going over places that have already been treated. I run the robot at maximum power and the mode of complex cleaning, when the wipes of the vacuum cleaner are constantly rotating. And even with these conditions, the battery capacity of 5200 mAh was enough for 1.5 hours. And the processed area was a total of 85 square meters. After every 10 square meters, the robot returned to the base to rinse the wipes, as I had chosen in the settings. Each rinse takes about 300 ml of water, so you can calculate how much liquid you will need for your apartment. In any case, 5 times less than you would use with manual cleaning. Noise level is another strong point of this model. At minimum noise level, it doesn't exceed 59 decibels, and in turbo mode it reached 68 decibels. This is less than analogs with the same power. Let's move on to the most anticipated part of the test and find out how the robot cleans the house. Let's start with dry cleaning on laminate flooring. I prepared a bunch of different debris for the Mijia Pro, including clumps of short hair. Let's see if its huge brush and D-shaped body help the robot. In automatic mode, Mijia Pro goes along the walls twice and zigzags twice. All in all, it managed to pick up 99% of the debris. I was particularly impressed with the cleaning quality along the walls, where not a single crab was left behind. On the first pass, Mijia Pro scoops the grit from the corner and kind of spreads it along the baseboard. And then on the second pass, it cleans up clean. In general, the D-shaped body really helps to clean the corners. The result is worse with sand. The claimed suction power is 3000 pascals, but because of the wide belt, the efficiency falls and the robot cannot gather the grains of sand properly. Even after 2 passes, only 90% of the sand was in the bag. On a thin carpet, most of the work again did the turbo brush. And so Mijia Pro showed a good result, 96%. But the end brush on the carpet doesn't cope with the task. A lot of grit is left near the walls. Taking all above into consideration, I didn't expect special results on an average carpet, and the robot met my expectations. The result is slightly above average 60%, and still I don't think that someone would buy this model because of the dry cleaning. After all, Mijia Pro is more of doormat, and now we will check how it cleans the floor. This time I didn't put the base in the paddock, I just choose to clean in a certain area. Test first. Dried coffee. I spilled some cappuccino on the stand and let it dry, and such a task was very easy for the Mijia Pro. The robot immediately removed the stains and wiped the floor clean and shiny. Test 2. Same thing, but I used tomato juice instead of coffee. The Mijia Pro did most of the work again with the first pass, but only achieved a perfect result with the second pass. Test 3. Show impressions in the hallway. This is the most difficult task for the most tallest, but Mijia Pro also performed well in this test. I couldn't say that it scoped flawlessly. In some places there were still some stains, but he couldn't fail. Just look at these mops. It's about time they were cleaned. Let's send the robot to the base and see how it washes the mops. You can compare the result before and after. It's better, but you can see that the base is not designed for extreme dirt. In such cases, you have to run the rinse 2 or 3 times. Or better yet, just take the mops off and wash them in the machine. Mijia Pro is the original robot sweeper. The manufacturer has successfully moved away from the concept of a dirty cloth and built-in tank, and taught the robot to rinse mops. Thanks to this system, the quality of cleaning Mijia Pro is not inferior to a professional tower. But the main advantage of the new base is that now wet cleaning can be planned. For example, the robot can wipe the floors shortly before you get home from work, so that you can walk into your house already clean. The Mijia Pro is the best choice for apartments with smooth floors and thin carpet. I liked it much better than the Mijia self-cleaning sweeping mopping robot MJ STP. And if you can afford to shell out $870 for a robot, take this robot with confidence. The closest competitor, the Dreamy Bot W10, will cost almost $1,100. And robots from Ecovacs and Roborock are even more expensive. But if you have a lot of carpets in your apartment and dry cleaning is more important for you than wet cleaning, you can find more affordable options. For example, Dreamy Bot Z10 Pro with the recognition of objects on the floor and a much more modest price tag.